Greetings, boys and girls. Chef Adam here, and we are about to make a tomato and basil soup. We got all the ingredients prepped, and this is an easy soup. This is just prep ingredients, throw it in the blender, and tweak it to taste, and done. You can use your high-powered blender to heat it up in the blender. I actually recommend, if you want to serve the soup warm, to just do it on the stovetop and just warm it. Don't need to boil it. Raising the temperature an extreme amount will basically undo all the goodness in the fresh produce. So fresh soups like this in the summer, it's great to serve it at room temperature. In the winter time, if you want a warm soup, sure, warm it up. That's great, but just don't cook it, because cooking it destroys all the enzymes, and a lot of the water-soluble nutrients are destroyed. So let's take a look at what we have in terms of ingredients. We have 2 cups of chopped tomatoes. So here's some fresh tomatoes that I cut up. We have around 2 cups of fresh basil leaves. Now this is all up to you. You could do 1.5 cups. You could do the dry basil, which you could probably get away with a couple tablespoons. The dry herbs are going to be more concentrated, but you know, it's summertime. We're going to do the fresh herbs. We have a clove of garlic. We have 1 tablespoon of chickpea miso. Now you can use any other varieties of miso. Miso is a fermented bean paste. Its predominant flavor is salty. So if you didn't have miso, you could just add salt. But miso adds a nice dynamic and a fuller flavor. It is a fermented food, so you're going to get probiotics with that, and cooking would destroy the probiotics. So you know, making the cool room temperature soup or a warm soup will keep the probiotics intact, so you get the benefit of that. We have a tablespoon of olive oil and 1 cup of water. That should do it. I set aside a little bit of basil for decoration on the top. I have some other veggies here that we can decorate the top of the soup when we're done. Great thing about this recipe is really simple. Everything just goes into the blender, you blend it up nice and smooth, and serve. All right, now we just toss everything in the blender and away we go. 2 cups of tomatoes, garlic in there, water, miso, and I'm going to save the olive oil and the basil for very last. Now, one of the reasons I do this is I feel that when you blend the oil and when you're blending fresh herbs, the longer you blend it, the more bitter it gets. So we'll get everything blended up nice and smooth, and then we add these very last, and then the blend time is shorter, and we don't get those flavor changes. Okay, so put the hat on, knock it down. I'm just going to use the variable control, set it at 1, hit start, and then ramp it up. Back that down a little. How easy is that? Okay, now we got to taste it. Just make sure we're good on salt and pepper. Very nice. You add a little bit of salt. And then if you guys are fans of black pepper, you can add that as well. Now with these fresh soups, you give it a little time and all the flavors kind of come out and interact. So you give it a little bit right before serving. You'll notice the flavors kind of change. That's the soup. Pretty easy. You basically pour this into bowls. How easy was that? Tomato basil soup. Thanks for joining us. Leave your questions and comments below. Please subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you on our next video where we make something fabulous and delicious. Keep it live.